Okay, so the first thing you want to do in deciding on your bullet wound is obviously where you want it. You know, you could have a bullet wound on your arm, you could have it anywhere, in your head, your face, whatever. I'm doing mine forehead, easiest thing to do in my opinion. I'm actually just going to boost my camera up just a little bit. Just so my head, I'm short, so just so my head's in view. Yeah, so there's a couple things you want to grab in order to do this. The first thing is to grab toilet paper or tissue of some sort. And what this is going to do is you're going to use your next thing you want to pick up, which is liquid latex. Now, I actually have an allergy to latex. So this one that I have is the Bendy latex for sensitive skin. I might still have a reaction to this, but it's okay for video purposes, whatever. I don't really care. Yeah, so do make sure though, if you do have this, that some people are extremely allergic to liquid latex, so test it on your arm or someplace just to make sure that you're not having like an extreme reaction to it. But yeah, so those are the kind of the two main things I'm going to use, and then obviously I'm going to be using a cream makeup, so I'm using the Makeup Forever Flash palette. You can always get the cream wheels. I know like general Halloween places like I think Bendy, Krylon, Mayron, some other Graftobian, I'm pretty sure probably has one too. They have like bruise wheels and stuff designed for this, so I'm just using this because this is what I have and it works, so yeah. Now I do recommend using 1-ply toilet paper and preferably something that doesn't have a flowery design. I like to wipe my ass with class, but you know, so what I just basically did was I just separated it to make 1-ply, and so what I did is I actually just kind of ripped the sheets into like things like this. That's kind of large, but it's going to be better in the long run to just use something a little bit more like larger. So I ripped about 4 or 5 layers. So then we're going to start. Luckily this liquid latex actually has a little brush. You can use that brush if you like. But yeah, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and apply the first thing. And just go all around the edges. Be careful not to get this in your eyebrows or in your hair because it will be a pain in the ass to get off. Trust me on that one. So that's the first layer, and then the next thing is to just let that dry. This is where your good friend Mrs. Blow Dryer comes in handy. I think I just moved my camera. Yeah, probably. This is where Mrs. Blow Dryer comes in handy. So I'm just going to go ahead and blow this on my head for a while. Keep in mind that this normally does dry clear, but because we have the toilet paper, it's going to dry kind of like a whitish clear color. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I'm going to show you guys how to do the second layer, and etc, etc. Okay, so after about 3 layers, this is pretty much all solid, dried, and stuff. The next thing I'm going to do is actually going to start to color stuff in. Now, I went ahead and mixed some colors that I'm going to be using. This bullet hole is actually going to be part of a zombie look that I'm going to end up doing. So, the main color that I'm actually going to go over it with is yellow. It's kind of like a yellow-green. On the Flash palette, I mixed together a little bit of yellow and like, mostly yellow and like I'd say 1/4 yellow, or yeah. No, that's not right. 3/4 yellow and 1/4 green, and to just come up with this color. So I'm actually just going to take this color and just go ahead and blend this all around the edge of the latex. Also kind of down into my face as well, because I am going to be doing my whole face with this color, so that's okay too. Yellow's done. That's what that's gonna look like. Now, if you're doing this on your own skin and you just had your own skin, the yellow color actually is a color in bruising. It basically means whenever there's trauma to the skin, Blood rushes to the wound to help heal, and it basically causes a deficiency in the surrounding skin, which is why when you bruise you end up looking yellow and it goes to like a darker purple, and then to the actual thing. So that's why we're just going to start building up colors. This is a very kind of like lilac purple, so I'm just going to get a little bit of that on and just kind of press that right into the center, and then just kind of blend that in with the yellow. Kind of dark purple, it looks black, but it's just really dark purple. And I'm just going to localize that kind of, bam, right there. Like that. And then even more, I'm going to go in with the blood red color and put that right in the center. Once you're satisfied with the shading that you've done, the next thing is to actually create the puncture. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take tweezers. Now, if you're doing this on someone else, you might want to just ask first. It's actually not that bad. And you want to start, basically, create a hole. And peel this off away from the skin. Kind of rip it open. You basically just want to rip it in whatever way you want to. Now you want to do it kind of in the center of the prosthetic, because if you go around the edge you can end up kind of risking damaging the actual prosthetic itself, or lifting up the edge, which you don't want, because as you can see, like, this moves and it looks like part of my skin. So you just want to be careful with that. Now you can leave the flaps of skin there, or you can kind of cut them down, which is what I'm going to do. I don't recommend using scissors this size, it's the only scissors I have, but you just kind of want to cut it according to what you desire, basically. I kind of want mine to stay kind of open and nasty like that, so that's what I'm gonna do. Once your hole is ripped open and it looks like this, the next thing is I'm going to obviously cover in the inside. I'm gonna use this really dark kind of blood red color, and you just want to take a brush and you basically want to paint the inside of that. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. You basically want to paint the inside of this, the entire inside, with this dark red color. And around the edges, I'm actually going to use a little bit of black and red, very, very dark red. And I'm just going to go ahead and paint just those flaps. Just because when you're shot with a bullet, it kind of singes your skin. So this is just to mimic the effect of singed skin. Now, if you can obviously adjust the colors, I don't really like that light purple, so I'm gonna make this a little bit more like a darker bruise around this area. Again, you can adjust it to what you feel looks right, basically, and how you want to do it. Once I got my bruising to how I like it, and it pretty much looks like that. You can see that's what it looks like. It's 3D, kind of nasty, kind of gross. Obviously you could make this a lot more smooth. I kind of rushed it, but you can make it a lot more smooth as well when you apply the latex, and you can do like a couple of layers on top of the tissue and let it dry so that it's smooth. I, however, am satisfied with this. So the next thing obviously is to add a little bit of blood, And the blood that I used, I just picked up. It's called Cinema Secrets Blood Gel. It was cheap. It was only like, I think, what was it say? $7 for an ounce, I think. So it's not bad at all. So I'm just going to take this, and I'm just going to use the same brush and just get a little bit of blood. Like that. And just fill the hole with the blood. And you can make this kind of as gory or as not gory as you like. Just like that. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the bullet wound. Kind of simple, kind of easy. I think it's fun and effective. Yeah, so that's my tutorial on how to do a bullet wound, and be sure to watch the rest of the video to see how I'm going to end up doing this zombie face. And yeah, so until my next video, I will talk to all of you soon. Bye.